Hello and welcome to the weekend betting preview on this, the weekend that the Barclays Premier League returns to action, brought to you by 188bet.com, the in-play specialists. So all of the gossip, the transfers, the wheeling, the dealing, the rumours, the changes can be put on ice as the real action gets back on pitches all the way from Aston Villa to Wolverhampton Wanderers, from Old Trafford to Stamford Bridge. And what a cracking fixture list we have set up for this opening weekend. There are some massive games, and we'll start off with one of the biggest of them all when Liverpool host Arsenal at Anfield on Sunday afternoon. Liverpool are looking to get a new era underway under the managership of Roy Hodgson. They have to set things straight from last year, where they dropped no fewer than 25 of a possible 36 points against the teams that finished in the top 6, that is, above them in the Premier League title race. Some of those games went against them by the minimum margin, and it might not take a huge amount to get Liverpool back, certainly into contention for the top 4, and who knows, at 14-1 they could even be challenging for the title. It's only 15 months since they finished second to Manchester United. Both sides have scored in 18 out of the last 20 meetings between the two, so this is a fixture which rarely fails to deliver in terms of goals and in terms of action. They've also, from an in-play perspective, scored no fewer than 38 goals in the last 15 minutes of their matches last season. So watch this one all the way through onto the final whistle. From 5:30 on Sunday afternoon, the in-play market could become the most exciting across all of the markets throughout the opening weekend. I've got a feeling that Liverpool might just edge this. They're available at a little bigger than 6-4, 2.53 to actually win the game. But given that it's the opening season and given the fact that these two sides have produced an awful lot of draws down the years, I think it may be best to look at the Asian handicap market. In this, we can bet at odds of 2.19 that Liverpool will win, with the bonus and the insurance of getting half of our stake back if the game finishes as a draw. A score of 2-1, which again has been quite common between the two sides, might be the best bet in the correct score market at odds of 9.5 or 8.5-1. And it could also pay to go with David Ngog to open the scoring. He's done so in Liverpool's 2 Europa League qualifying games, which are the games that I think might give them the edge against Arsenal this weekend. He's opened the scoring in both of those so far, and you can back him at odds of 6.5-1 or 7.5 to do so again in front of the cameras on Sunday afternoon. On Saturday evening, the champions Chelsea open up their defence of the Premier League title with a home tie against West Bromwich Albion. Now, it'll be a big cheer from the Stamford Bridge faithful for Roberto Di Matteo, a Chelsea legend of years gone by, who is returning now and will be taking his place in the West Brom dugout. They will be keen to avoid the hammerings of 7 and 8 goals that were suffered by Stoke, Villa and Wigan towards the back end of last season. But West Brom had their own problems in the Championship last year. They conceded an average of more than a goal a game, so it's going to be difficult for him to shore up the defence. I think that they travel with more in hope than expectation on Saturday evening, and I think that odds of a little over even money, 2.08, about Chelsea in the Asian handicap market, where we need them to win by 3 goals or more to land the bet at those odds, but we get our money back if they win by 2 goals, is a better bet than taking the straightforward 1.17 about a Chelsea victory. Watch out for Nicolas Anelka in the first goal scorer market as well, at odds of around about 5.0. He scored first in 3 of Chelsea's last 9 home games at Stamford Bridge last season, so on a statistical basis he represents good value. The third TV game is the one which gets the season underway on Saturday and at just after midday. It's Spurs against Manchester City. These two were locked together in the battle for 4th place last season, and Spurs came out on top in that. Their record against Manchester City is excellent as well, with 12 wins out of the last 13 games between the two sides. That, given the fact that the money continues to pour into City and has allowed Roberto Mancini to bring in yet another raft of expensive players, I think that Man City might just take a little bit more time to bed in. Spurs have had a pretty relaxed close season. They'll be looking forward to Champions League action if they can get past Young Boys of Bern in their qualifying round. But I think that odds of 2.38 about a Spurs victory here look very tempting indeed. Perhaps a scoreline of 2-1, which has been the same in 5 out of the 6 meetings between the two sides at White Hart Lane in recent years, can be backed at odds of 9.5, and that represents a bit of value as well. The last of the TV games of the weekend is on Monday night, when Manchester United get their campaign underway against Newcastle. Now, the Magpies would probably be happy enough with mid-table position come the end of the season, but they should take heed that United kept a clean sheet against 11 of the bottom 13 sides at home in the Premier League last season, and I think that it's difficult to see where Newcastle are going to get a goal from. United to win the game are at short odds, but you can get a bit of value in the Asian handicap market. The odds are available at 1.8 about United winning this game by 2 goals or more. Another bet which could be worth looking at is Javier Hernandez as well. He's played very well in pre-season. He scored a bizarre goal in the Community Shields last weekend, and you can back him at odds of around about 5.0 to open the scoring and begin what could be a long love affair with the Stretford end. Away from the TV cameras, Everton were one of only 3 sides to come away from Blackburn with all 3 points last season, and they can be backed at odds of 2.44 to get what should be a good campaign for them off to a winning start. In Sunderland against Birmingham, it's worth noting that Darren Bent scored first in 14 of Sunderland's games last year, so he's value if he's recovered from his back injury at anything bigger than 3.5 to open the scoring at the Stadium of Light. Blackpool will travel to Wigan with high hopes, but perhaps little expectation, and I think that Wigan to be leading at half-time and full-time. It might not be terribly romantic, but it could be good value at odds of 2.8. Bolton entertain Fulham and their new boss, Mark Hughes. Martin Petrov is likely to make a big impression, I think, at the Reebok Stadium this season, and I think that their value at a shade of odds on in the quarter ball Asian handicap market, where you can bet at odds of 1.94 against a Bolton win with half of your stake back in the event of the game finishing all square. Aston Villa have had a difficult week with the departure of Martin O'Neill, and I'd say that Kevin MacDonald and the team would be content enough with a draw. You can back that at odds of 3.3. They might have to settle for that against West Ham. And last but not least, well, I'm happy to look at last season when analysing Wolves at home to Stoke City. Stoke were one of the most predictable sides in the Premier League last season, setting out their stall early on, defending in numbers, and they were level at the break on no fewer than 22 out of their 38 games. You can back them to be level against Wolves at the break on Saturday at odds of 1.95, and that looks like a winning bet to me. That's it from me, Rob Hartnett of 188bet.com. Enjoy this weekend, the first one back of the Premier League season. It's pretty exciting, isn't it? And join us again next Tuesday when we'll be running the rule over the best betting opportunities on all of the English clubs involved in Europa League qualifying action. Join us again then on Friday when we'll be previewing the second weekend of the Premier League. In the meantime, enjoy all the football and enjoy all of the betting, particularly on 188bet.com.